Pennywise finally revealing himself doesn't just raise the stakes, it reshapes the entire story in ways most people aren't seeing. Because the moment the characters enter the sewers, 5 major shifts happen at once. Shifts that completely change the power, the danger, and the future of every character in Derry. And by the end of this breakdown, you'll see how that reveal rewired the whole entire season. I've always turned to TV and movies to feel better, so now I break down their hidden meanings, so you can be not just entertained, but understood. Welcome to The Real Spot. I'm Bobby Foster. Let's dive in. Pennywise appearing removes all doubt. Before this reveal, the kids were dealing with fragments, mainly in the form of hallucinations, but they didn't know exactly what they were truly dealing with. After the moment in the sewers where Pennywise reveals himself, they realize that whatever hope they had that their friends may still be alive is gone. Outside of Lilly, this is the first time that the kids have seen the death of their friends. Now they'll join Lilly in the trauma that she's been enduring all season. A coming to age or a coming to death moment, if you will. Not only that, they know where the monster Pennywise hides now. And they also know that he's too powerful to defeat. That even by taking pills to try and be less scared, that Pennywise is still too frightening to deal with. That is, until Lilly stumbles across something extremely important. Just when it seemed like all was lost for Lilly, she stumbled across that dagger. Some say that's plot armor. I don't see it like that. But it is the one thing that's able to stop Pennywise from attacking her. But there's more to this dagger than it just saving her in this one moment. Because now the power dynamics have shifted. The kids now have the power over Pennywise. Now that Lilly has the dagger, the power dynamic in Derry shifts for the first time. But they also have a relic that's extremely important to other people as well. This is the first time to our knowledge that the dagger has left the indigenous peoples. So what's going to happen now that it's not in their control? The military is also going to want it to control Pennywise. And of course, the indigenous people are going to want it back so they can ward off Pennywise as well. So Lilly's not only not powerless anymore, she's become a threat. Not just to Pennywise, but the military and the indigenous people. So if we think that Lilly's been traumatized before, it is only getting started, unfortunately. Because now she has a bigger target on her back than ever because she has that dagger. With great power comes great responsibility, and I hope the kids are just ready for that, because it's about to get wild. But Lilly's not the only one who has their role shift. The moment Halloran opens the box, his path changes entirely. In an earlier episode, his grandma's spirit warned him to keep the lid on the box shut. But due to Pennywise's influence, he wasn't able to, and now everything has changed. He goes from being the guy guiding the military to Pennywise to being taken hostage by Pennywise basically and becoming haunted. Pennywise hijacked his mind and opened that box that he created to hold in the darkest things in his mind, so those things wouldn't take him over. It's a way to keep those things from haunting his mind due to that power that he has. And that's why he ends up seeing Polly in zombie form at the end of the episode, because those things that are haunting him escaped. Halloran went from the one digging into people's minds to get information to the one who's having their mind dug in too. Which means instead of being an asset to the military, now he's a liability. And like I was talking about in my last couple videos, the military are only treating Halloran and Leroy nice because they're useful. And as soon as they're not useful, I feel like they're going to turn on them and stop treating them so great. Because at the end of the day, racism is a powerful force in this story, and Halloran and Leroy are black. And Halloran went from being a powerful ally to being compromised like that. And now instead of him using his powers to find Pennywise, I bet Pennywise is now going to use his power to get the upper hand on not just Halloran, but the military and the town in general. Now we'll have to see how Halloran ends up getting that box closed, or is it going to end up haunting him and just lead to his demise? And outside of the supernatural, people are just shifting too. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe so more videos like this can show up on your feed. Leroy has tried to protect his family this whole season, but little did he know he was putting them in the ultimate danger. For his whole life, he's had to keep what he does at work hidden from his wife. Not just his wife, Will too, but now him and Will know the truth of what's going on. So it's only a matter of time that Charlotte becomes aware too, especially because she also has seen her own manifestation of it as well. But now with Polly dead and Halloran missing, the danger is just undeniable. He cannot pretend Derry is normal anymore, and he can't pretend that he can control the situation, even if he doesn't feel fear. Because it is revealed to us that yes, Leroy can't feel fear, but that doesn't mean that Pennywise can't mess with his mind. He can still make him hallucinate and make mistakes indirectly. He had a hallucination pop up of Charlotte, and then because of that, one thing led to another, and he almost shot his own son, which led to Polly getting killed in the process. But here's why that's extremely important. That means Leroy, is no longer the secret weapon that Francis was hoping for. So does that make Leroy expendable, just like Halloran is kind of expendable right now? Leroy is obviously questioning his choice of moving his family to Derry, but now all three of them are intertwined in this. So what's gonna happen? He's just gonna have to figure out a new way to try to protect them. But there's someone else in power who had their perspective shattered, and it's a mess. Francis now knows that his own soldiers didn't just die, but they were purposefully sent into danger by Rose. That realization shatters what he thought he knew. I'm sure he was cautious of the indigenous people since he knew he was encroaching on their territory, but I also think he thought he could trust Rose. So now it just got personal. The girl who saved him when he was a kid just led his men into death. He also now knows how important that dagger is. He just doesn't know what it does yet, but he knows that Rose gave Daniel that dagger because it had to be important somehow. And now I'm sure he's gonna go looking for it, which is definitely gonna put Lilly in danger. And see, Francis already knew about the entity when he ran into it when he was younger. But Rose said he must not really remember, because if he did, he wouldn't try to do something stupid like contain it. Here's the thing Rose doesn't realize. Francis has become a monster himself over the years. He's masking his want for the entity under this patriotic facade right now, talking about saving lives and all that, but in reality he just wants to capture the entity to use it for military purpose, not simply to save his men, but to absolutely obliterate his enemies with no regard to them at all. That's not humane. That's not heroic. So far we've seen Pennywise finally show his face, but it's slowly leading to Francis taking off his mask too. It's clear now that Pennywise showing up didn't just scare the characters, it redefined them. He accidentally gave the kids power. He gave Halloran a curse. He gives Francis a truth he can't unsee. And the reveal isn't just about finally seeing the clown. It's about seeing every character's worldview break at one time. If you notice the shift that I didn't mention, drop it in the comments. I love seeing what y'all catch. I'm Bobby Foster. Take care of yourself and keep letting TV and movies make your life a little lighter.